completely vouch that these two are two of the absolute best. I rank Zest as the best PvPer in the world. In fact, in my current notebook that I'm about to finish out here, from the last 30 pages, I have like 25 or so dedicated specifically to Zest, and almost all of those are on his PvP. I have been on like a Zest PvP spree lately because he's like got it figured out in Heart of the Storm better than anyone has so far, in my opinion. He's just like, he's such god mode, but Hero pulls out more PvPs that I get more surprised from Hero PvPs than any other player, because he will win games that I'm like, what? How did you win that? That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, and especially if those series happen to be best of 5 or more, because holy crap, his record in best of 5 and best of 7s is perfect. And I am not just exaggerating, I literally mean perfect. He hasn't lost one.
That's some pretty good stats.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that very much, can you?
No, you cannot. And he doesn't play too many best of 7s, but of course, when he does, he wins GSLs with them.
Well, that's the best way to win the best of 7s, I guess.
I agree.
Well, we'll see if he can do that again here.
Yep. And they pick 2 different colors of blue. I think this is what happens if you're in a Kesper team for so many years and you play Pro League as often, where everything is decided for you, your colors and everything. And then what do when you get 1 inch of freedom? You use it to piss off the casters. That's what you do. And I don't blame them. I'm going to let them off for that.
Yeah, why not? I like it. At least it's not hero versus hero, right? It's just blue toss versus other blue toss.
Yeah. That would be terrible. Hero versus hero, one's in the slightly light blue and one's in the regular blue trunks. Oh dear, that would be terrible. So, yeah, the only time I think I've ever been happy for Hero to be knocked out of a tournament, except of course when he's facing my guys. Regardless, welcome to King Sejong Station. Of course, something we did not see in our TVT, but it's going to kick off our PvP. And I'm never unhappy to see King Sejong. It's put some great games out in this tournament so far. To the northwest position. In the blue trunks, playing Protoss. Representing CJ Entus, indeed, he wants to avenge his fallen comrade. Since this very much is a KT versus CJ event right now, he is Hero.
And in the bottom right of our map, in the slightly different shade of blue Protoss, it is none other than KT Rolster Zest.
Zest is incredible. As we saw yesterday. Perhaps some people don't get to watch GSL, and I don't blame them. Especially if you're American, it's on at a pretty difficult time to catch on a regular basis. And that's maybe the worst thing about living in America. I can deal with the expensive healthcare. I can deal with the gun culture. I can deal with the Tea Party. What I can't deal with is not being able to watch GSL live. I need to move to the West Coast, man, and then I'll actually be able to do it.
There you go. Yeah. California's not so bad. You should do that.
Let's get a bit closer to Korea. That's the way that it should go there. But I think yesterday people learned just how much of a force Zest actually is. And if there is hype behind Zest, all of it's real and all of it's justified.
I didn't believe it all at first. I thought for sure last season, I'm like, you know what, guys? Yeah, Zest is really good. I think Rain's going to take him out. Nope. I'm like, well, I don't know. Is he going to be able to win this whole thing? Su's pretty on form.
Su's pretty good.
Nope. It's just... and now I'm just a complete believer. As far as I'm concerned, Zest is going to win everything for the next few months. He's like playing even better than Deer was last year when Deer went on his insane streak. Like, even better than that. Yes, he's actually more dominating. He's more perfect in his play and his strategies and his transitions. It's crazy.
Yeah. And it's hard to argue with any of that up to this point. But CJ and his Hero wants to argue with it. And he is the kind of guy that could do it successfully. I was trying to think of another Protoss that I could have possibly got, assuming I could have got him, to go up against someone like Zest. And that list is very, very short. And it consists maybe of Rain and Parting. And that's probably about it.
Yeah, that's pretty much nailed that. The thing is, people won't even argue about that a lot of the time, right? Sometimes there's some like heated arguments about who's actually the best and who are the top like 4 or something. But it's right now it's like no, it's I mean, we got like Hero and Zest and Parting and Rain and
SOS maybe is the top
yeah,
third.
SOS. Yeah, you got to say SOS, but that's about it. It's just those are the guys.
Yeah, they are playing out of their minds. So, we have mirror builds from both players up to this point. But Hero is gonna recall out of there. There we go. That was an interesting decision to use that energy to scout, of course.
Yeah, he really wanted to know what was going on. But at least he knows, right? He figured that Blink is coming. I think he didn't actually see he didn't actually see the Twilight Council, but when you see that many Stalkers and the third gate at that timing,
yeah,
that really is going to be a Blink opener. So we'll see what he does from there. Whereas you see that Zest didn't get such a scout off. He's really not quite as sure as what's going on, so he has to throw his Robo down just in case.
That's pretty cool, isn't it? And we have a pylon coming up here for Hero down to the bottom. I'm always really terrified whenever I see a Mothership Core pull a recall in PvP like that, because what you're basically saying is, for the next 2 minutes, my photon overcharge is not a thing that will happen.
Well, he's going to be the one getting on the aggressive side.
Smart,
here, is
yeah.
Hero.
Definitely.
Yeah, and it makes sense, because if you're going to scout like that, you better follow it up with aggression. And he knows that, he doesn't necessarily need detection right now. This really looks like a Blink build from Zest, but Zest has spent an extra 175 gas getting this Observer that he's making. So we should have more Stalkers from Hero, and thus a slight advantage.
I'm a bit concerned about the lack of high ground vision, though, here for Hero. Of course, his Mothership Core is back in his base to prevent any kind of backstab, so he's going to have to get good fights up this ramp, and if he doesn't get them, then things are going to end up going disastrously wrong. But the Blink Wars have begun, Artosis. Right up the ramp he goes, and of course, the Photon Overcharge is not going to happen. The Mothership Core actually used the Time Warp, which is not really helping at all here. Hero is unfortunately having to blink off and go back up the ramp, which definitely sucks, but he aggressively blinks on top there, and GG! Hero!
Very quick one there, and it all comes back to that suicidal Mothership Core that decided to scout, because he saw that he can actually just go all in with his blink, just put all of his gas into Stalkers, whereas Zest, without doing that, he's like, well, I'm going to keep the energy on my Mothership Core, and I'm going to keep its health high. But that means I got to get a Robo to be safe. And that's really what ended up killing him. He didn't have as many Stalkers.
Yeah. It is as simple as that. And what a great decision there. Thankfully, I didn't talk too much about it, because I would have made myself look like an idiot. Like, that's so high level. And he's saying, oh, wow, he just wasted all that energy on a recall. He's boned. No, he's not, actually. That won him the game. Straight up. What a start to this series. And Zest bleeds for the first time in this tournament.
Yeah, well, you know what? That game is actually quite telling for Zest, I would say. I think that he needs to look at that very strongly and say, oh, okay, you were really taking initiative with that Mothership Core. And he needs to not hem and haw. He has to really decide his build order ahead of time. He can't just do safety builds that'll work against the 7th best Protoss in the world. He has to do builds that are decisive and can win against the best.
Yes, he does. And if anyone thought that Hero would be a pushover for Zest, nope. We don't invite pushovers to the round of 4, I'm afraid. No space for them in this tournament. Hero is legit. He has been legit for a long time. He's been one of my favorite Protosses for a long time. And he starts off really well. Great move there. Very decisive.
Yeah, I love moves like that. Like, see, I don't know, maybe some people look at that and say, well, PvP sucks, but when you look at that decision-making and the fact that Zest is trying to play safe, but gets punished for it because Hero put in that effort and took that small risk, I think that's beautiful. I think that was actually a very nice game.
It was, yeah. It was PvP, like, in a nutshell, as you're probably aware. It's like, equal numbers of units fight, 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. This is Thunderdome, and the game ends in 8 minutes. But it's a best of 7. All sorts of things can happen.
Oh yeah, this is not over by any means, right? I mean, there's a lot of build order victories that can happen in PvP. I'd be surprised if we didn't get at least one of those coming up, where someone's trying it all in and then DT's coming, he just doesn't have detection, something like that. But we'll have to see. The next map is... Actually, I'm not sure what the next map is.
Outboxer.
Outboxer. Okay, yeah, and then I see it goes Frost, after that. So Outboxer, this is obviously a Pro League map, a map these guys have played plenty, as they are both Pro League heroes.
Yes, they are.
The Pro League hero, and then Zest,
literally.
who's doing quite well in Pro League.
Yeah, they're both pretty good. Both pretty good. Zest kind of letting me down in my Fantasy Pro League right now, man. I keep flitting between the two. I make the mistakes. I got on the Maru hype train and picked him up when he's a couple of games down. That was a mistake. I dropped Hero from my squad. Also a mistake, apparently. So I'm just not doing very well right now.
No, you can't mess with those guys, man. You leave them right where they are on your team.
It's okay. I still got Bbyong. I'll be okay. I'll be alright.
Well, you certainly will with Bbyong. I mean, he's the ultimate, but costs a lot of points.
He does. Worth it, though. Worth every penny, man. Worth every penny. I still recall grabbing him when he was like 4 in round 1. That was a bargain.
Wow.
So those were the days. We take that seriously in this house because my wife destroyed me at it last round. He destroyed everyone. Did you know that Crank won an award from Fantasy Pro League for worst coach?
Really?
Yeah.
That's great. Oh,
He made the worst trades out of anyone in the entire league. It was incredible.
Wow.
We had all the Axiom players going at it.
That's quite embarrassing.
Yeah. It really
props to
was.
Crank. That's like almost as impressive as making the best trades.
Yeah, that was terrible. Man, we had the in-house ranking. We've got to go in again for this season. I'm just glad that my wife isn't playing because she'll kill me again. She was like, I think she was top 60, like out of 3,000 at the end of round 3. So apparently we don't mess with my wife in Fantasy Pro League. And we don't mess with Hero either. And Zest has just discovered that in real life. This Best of 7 series, already a map down. But Zest has never lost a Best of 7. This can't be the
first time for everything. Will Hero be the man we need to take out Zest?
He's certainly the one we deserve, Artosis.
Yes, indeed. I love that guy. He's such a strong player. So here we go. It's going to be going into Outboxer. A fun map. I wonder if it's going to be as quick, though. Might be a bit of a longer game.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I want to see the full range of PvP. Yeah? PvP it is a smorgasbord of wonderful cheeses, and you don't just want to try one, you want to get a feel of all of them.
Yeah, the cheese platter is one of the greatest starter dishes that you can order at a fine Italian restaurant. That's for sure.
That is very true, and I do hope that these guys deliver, and it's not just I can just imagine it being a really terrible series, and instead of the fine selection of cheeses, all we get is a packet of Kraft. Like, nope. No, that's not even real cheese.
Yeah, it's just like a can of cheese was in there as well. It's like, I don't know, man, blink all ins are good. But
no. 7 blink all ins in a row. It's like, this tournament is ruined and it's now cancelled. Like, just done.
Even worse, 4 blink all ins in a row and it's over.
Oh, man. Well, I'd still be kind of glad for Hero to go into the finals because I love that guy, but if he did it that way, I'd love him a little less.
Yeah.
So hopefully not. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Outboxer, to the southeast position. The man that up to this point had been undefeated in this tournament, and now suddenly realizes he needs to step it up a bit. In the light blue trunks, playing Protoss to the southeast position, the GSL champion, KT Rolster Zest.
And in the top left of Outboxer, taking that first game after a very daring Mothership Core Scout, it is CJ Entis Hero.
Who is taking double gas, so we're getting a build differentiation already here between these two.
Yeah, a little bit different how these guys are playing. But, they might end up at the same place. Sometimes players have, like, a way that they like to take gas. Like, they might like just a little bit more minerals, like it looks like Zest is going to be getting, or a little bit more gas, like it looks like Hero's going to get.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Or, of course, it could be for something entirely different. We just don't really know yet. But grabbing double gas like this doesn't say immediately what it's going to be. You've got to wait for the Cyber Core to finish, and then really you can determine what's going on. Usually because that's when they start building it.
No, totally. In fact, if you take double gas, that's the hardest time to tell what's going on. If you take single gas, then you can really start to talk about it.
Yeah.
But right now we do have Zest adding a second gateway while Hero throws down a proxy pylon.
Okay, what is it for? It could be for a great many things.
Yeah, he couldn't hide anything there, but I think it's a Stargate location, really. It's just like, it looks like such a perfect angle from for an Oracle to fly in.
Could very well be. Although if he's going up against Double Gate Stalker, I'd be a little concerned about that. So far, he hasn't built anything yet because he wants to build a mothership core and, of course, wants to get Warp Gate up before he plonks down anything.
Well, we'll see in a second here. And a Stargate. All right, so Proxy Oracle coming out of Hero here. A very strong build.
And could get scouted very quickly. Zest is actually on a beeline to see this directly.
That is so painful. And with Double Gateway, he can shut that down really easily. Or just go over and put pressure on. Just knowing that there's a Proxy Oracle, like everything is going wrong for Hero in this game for sure.
What a great scout here from Zest. And, you know, he's played Outboxer so much in PvP. This has got to be a build that's been used before here. He realizes a possibility. It's not like he even has to dedicate much to scouting in the first place. But Hero does have a Stalker out on the map. He's going to try and fend this Mothership Core off for the moment. But this did get scouted, and it is Double Stalker coming out of it. Can an Oracle even still work here? I mean, surely not.
I would say no. Like, getting the Oracle out, though, is important. If he can somehow save that and make it, that's great. If he has to cancel and it doesn't build, which is what it looks like is going to happen, that's so painful. He spent so much money and time on that.
That is an absolute disaster. And we're talking about build order counters. That is a straight-up build order counter and a massive scouting advantage. And as a result, the transition here is going to be, I'm going to throw down more gateways and hope not to die in the next minute.
Oh, man. He needs to actually cancel the Oracle out of that Stargate.
Yeah, he
tried to get the Pro back down, but yeah, that is such a great expense. And trying to go into this 4 gateways, I don't know, man. This is too tough, I think, for Hero. Look at how many Stalkers Zest has in his base.
He just warped in on the high ground. He's got one right there. And the Photon... Wait, did he recall his Mothership Core? I was going to say, where's the Photon Overcharge? There isn't one. The Mothership Core's dead here. Probes have been pulled off the line, and Hero is desperately trying to hold on here. See if he can get that 4th gateway up, and then maybe, just maybe, overwhelm his opponent.
Oh, it doesn't look likely with these Stalkers. GG comes up, and it is tied up 1-1. A Fast and Furious series so far.
Fast and Furious is the best way to describe it. It is PvP. We kind of expected it. And Zest comes right back with just a great scout. You know, pretty much as soon as that Oracle got scouted, with the build going the way that it went, that was it. You know, there was nothing that could have really been done there, I feel, for Hero.
No, it was a pretty rough beat. Like, he could have made a hard decision and, like, canceled right away, but he had a Stalker on the map, so he's like, you know what? I'm not sure if this is gonna work, but I'm gonna take the risk, because it may be better to take the risk than try to play from so far behind.
Yeah, I think it's all he could have really done there, as there's not much you can really do from that position. Maybe if Zest had gone, I don't know, 1 gate expand instead of 2 gateways and a bunch of Stalkers, then maybe he at least could do something else, but at that point, there is no match more cutthroat than PvP, and it's being put on full display here.
Oh, that's for sure. It's pretty unforgiving, you know. There are definitely ways to come back, but, you know, you take a risk like this, sure, there's the possibility of a high reward, but there's the possibility that you just die exactly like that.
Yeah, definitely. Rolls the dice, doesn't work out. Simple as that. But it is a best of 7. You can roll the dice at least a few times, but it evens the series up 1 apiece. Since obviously the match has been so short, we're not going to take a break. I think we're just going to go right into it. I don't see any reason to do a commercial break here.
I think we should push right forward, see who's going to take this lead here.
Yep. Zest is getting a bit chatty at the moment. Not really sure what's going on. And we're just waiting for our Chinese cast. I don't want to start just yet. So, waiting for Ms. Joy to join. There we go. All right, looks good. Hero is still speaking Korean, so I actually don't know if he's ready at all. Not a clue.
Yeah, they're just talking about that map a little bit and how that went. Well,
quickly.
Hopefully they'll be ready to start pretty quickly here. I really do want to see more games quickly. PvP is a matchup that you can sometimes watch very quickly, many of them, and You know, it's
compact
sometimes
match.
it is a game like that where it's you scout a proxy and then you win. But then sometimes it's I thought game number 1 was a bit better though, where it's like you sacrifice the mothership core energy to figure out what they're doing. I love moves like that. Whereas this one, it's just like, well, hero, you're taking a risk and you're punished.
That is very true. We're going to go into this next game pretty much immediately here, as you can hear in the background. It's been a short series up to this point. I would, if we're going to have games that short, I'd definitely like to see it go to all 7. But if Zest is starting to warm up, that might not happen.
Well, I don't put this series beyond a hero win, that's for sure. This guy really knows what he's doing. And to be honest, I would prefer a hero versus Flash finals just based on how well Hero played PvT on that first day.
Yes, he really, really did. And it's always nice to not see a team kill final, because as people have pointed out, it's a little weird. There's always going to be an element of mind games going into it, but there's also going to be this weird element of, well, he's my teammate, he's my friend, can I really go all out here? Sometimes they can. There are some players that really go for it, and we see some amazing team kill matches. And then there are others that just end up being a bit disappointing. So it's always nice just to reduce the risk of that happening by having 2 players from different teams going into the finals. So I would like to see Hero versus Flash, but I think Zest versus Flash would be a match for the ages. I think that's the big name match, you know?
Oh yeah, I think that's the match that gets most people most excited, but I did love Hero's PvT, man. He played some sick games, specifically against Flash.
Yeah, very much so, yeah. It was looking like Flash would not have been able to take that, but frankly, he did. He was just barely. But yeah, Hero's PvT is absolutely phenomenal. But at this point, he has to face a very scary man indeed. Will he be able to pull that off? I guess we're going to find out. To the southeast position, here in the light blue trunks, we've had a bit of a color change at the request of Crank, who I think was tearing his hair out over that. He's playing Protoss, folks. He's from KT Rolster. He is the GSL champion. He is Zest.
And his opponent in the bottom left of Frost, losing with that proxy Stargate in the last game and changing his color for Crank. Because Crank finding out how hard the commentator life is, it is CJ Anta's Hero.
I love it when pros find that out. It's the best.
Yeah.
Because you constantly hear, it's like, casters, commentators, so much money, so easy. They get to just sit there and criticize our play all day. It's like, yeah, well, operative word, all day. That's a start, and it can be quite tiring.
Yeah, it absolutely can be. It's definitely got its own challenges, and I do love how whenever a pro gamer like a Todd or a Rhett or someone start to commentate a bit, they're like, oh, damn, this is really hard. So it's nice.
You know, on the Home Story Cup hype train, it's like, oh, pros casting, that's clearly better than everything.
I love it. It's amazing, at least for a while.
Yeah, that's the operative word for a while. It's like the cool thing about Home Story Cup is it's unique in that aspect. That's what makes it great.
Home Story Cup, definitely one of my favorite events I have ever been to. Just so much fun.
Oh, yeah. It's brilliant to watch, and Take's done a great job up to this point. Of course, the show match we had tonight was great. Although, I'm sorry, I think we did top it with that TBT.
Yeah, we crushed it. It didn't even exist as far as I'm concerned compared to that TBT.
Alright, let's play a game of Find the Pylon. Currently, Hero's put one up all the way over here and hasn't... Well, actually, yeah, what he scouted both... That's a bit of an odd pylon placement, but it's a good place to put a Dark Shrine.
Yeah, for sure. That is a fantastic spot. Now, if a scout comes in, you probably like start blank and throw a chrono on it or something to hide it, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So this could be something that does catch Zest completely off guard, but... when you go for a fast expansion like this, a lot of times you do fall off with the Robo, and that's exactly what he's going to do.
So the damage that could be done here would be potentially limited, but we should, of course, remember that DTs are not the be-all and end-all of what can come out of a Dark Shrine. You can get an Archon as well, which can be absolutely fantastic, and we have seen games go longer. You know, it's not a case of you build the Dark Shrine, either you win or you die, and there's no middle ground. That's not the case anymore. And that scout is going to get denied. Did it see up that ramp? It did not.
Yeah, and that's actually a very good thing. If you see a robo building right then, you actually know that it's a Dark Shrine because Dark Shrines always have a robo building right then. So good thing that he denied that. We'll see if he can get some damage done. The first observer is on the way, and this might take a little bit of skillful timing here from Hero to maybe dash in when he thinks the observer's already gone or something like that.
Yeah, and it might even have something to do with his pylon placement there as well, because I thought for a minute maybe that is too far away, but like you just mentioned, what he wants to do is to try and get the observer out of the way. The thing is, Zest somehow smells it. Oh, he went into the base with a hallucinated phoenix. That's why. And the observer now sees it. Photon overcharge has been used. The DT dies on the way out.
So that's a really rough start here for Hero. As you can see, his Nexus is going to be a lot slower. Sure, he has a little bit more tech than his opponent, and he's going to have to make that work for him somehow. Because his economy is going to be well behind. And that's pretty difficult, because Zest is going to be expecting such a thing. We should be seeing, probably, I would say, a Warp Prism come out for Hero, but it is...
I like that.
It's a little bit obvious, but I think you need to do it.
Yeah, if anything, just to kind of keep Zest honest, to force maybe a cannon or two, or indeed another observer to sit around in his main base, which is quite a lot of gas and also stuff that could be scouting, which is floated off elsewhere, and it gives you a little bit of breathing room. But you're right, because otherwise what you're going to do with that DT, what's it going to do? It's going to sit on the watchtower. It's been relegated to guard duty there.
That's about the most expensive watchtower that you can have as a DT sitting there when you did no damage with them early on. So yeah, I would like to see that out of him, but we'll see. Hero right now, we're just really focusing on getting his probe count up as quickly as possible, and he's doing a good job of it with all these chronos. Only a couple probes down against Zest right now.
Yeah, it's not too shabby at all. And thankfully, I suppose, for Hero, the kind of things that Zest was able to bring out in the early game are not all that threatening. They're about to be, though, because that's going to be a Warp Prism double Immortal drop by the looks of it.
Fantastic. If your opponent didn't open Stargate and they don't have Blink, this is like the most powerful thing that there is. Flying around with a Warp Prism with 2 Immortals, you can just be so cost efficient. You can pick off pylons, stalkers, sentries, probes, maybe even bigger buildings. It's really awesome.
I am kind of surprised to see a Templar Archives coming out right here from Hero, though. What do you reckon to that?
Yeah, I'm actually quite surprised to see that so quickly. I wonder if that's to go with the Warp Prism, like, because he wanted to get it eventually anyways. But if you fly around with a High Templar, you can feed back the Mothership Core, which is one of the most powerful moves in a mid-game PvP.
Zest is pure evil. Can I just point this out? He hallucinated a Warp Prism and deliberately flew it over the Dark Templar and then brought the Immortals into the main in the real Warp Prism. That is evil genius. It pulled the Stalkers out of position. That pylon's getting shut down. Oh, thankfully there's a backup pylon, otherwise that +1 would not be finished, but that's a sneaky move.
A fantastic move.
Yeah.
You said it was evil genius, but I would say even better, it's a KT Rollster move right there. That was awesome. Really nice Immortal harassment so far, and I love watching hallucinations go to work like that.
Yeah, it's so cool. I so rarely see hallucination used for anything other than scouting there, but it's just so advanced. He knows, okay, well, I know that you're holding the Xel'Naga Watchtower, so here's a Warp Prism to disguise the fact that I have a Warp Prism. Mind games.
Yes, and it's true too, because that did disguise it very, very well. In fact, when he started attacking, he knew it was a fake, of course, because it took damage so quickly. But he probably thought, oh, you maybe didn't go Warp Prism then. You know, it's just very, very cool moves. By the way, we're going to have Storm Drops coming up. Yes,
which is neat, but Zest already knows. I mean, he's scouted it with a hallucinated Phoenix. So he is going to warp in... Oh, wow, he's warping in High Templar of his own. Lots of them, actually. And he's going for Archons. And he has this cannon at the back here. And it wouldn't shut the Warp Prism down completely. A Storm Drop could be effective. But this seems like a very high-risk move out of Hero here. Very, very flashy.
Well, let's see what he can get done. That is a lot of probes right there. Dropping in.
Oh, huge storms. 13 kills. That was massive right there. A huge economic lead for Hero.
That is gigantic to kill that many probes off. Now, if he just can sit back and macro up and make sure that Zest doesn't kill him right now, he's going to be in really good shape. Zest, though, is moving across the map. I think he realizes that he needs to at least threaten some damage, if not deal some.
Well, there's the recall on the Mothership core, which is a bit of a problem, although it did